Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Walaikum salam, sir.
So last time as you know, we have discussed. Is mute. Salman Barkat, kindly mute your mic. Okay. Basically, we have discussed about capital budgeting, and we have learned about uh, different strategies whenever we have used this Excel sheet. Find out. Just a minute. I'm going to open that sheet as well. So, this is your sheet, right? We have calculated all these scenarios, sensitivity analysis, how things has changed, right? And we have observed the variation through these charts. Just going to remove this. So one more thing you can do here, which is important, which you can apply. Then I'm going to move towards this risk analysis, because I'm going to just go to brief you about basics of risk analysis through this sensitivity situation or by changing the different kind of scenarios. I'm not going to move in much details because we don't have so much time. Otherwise, you may have more time if, for practice, then that can be discussed in detail. Okay, another important context is that you can also find out any kind of variation according to your own choice. These are the final outputs you have, right? These are the values. This is the break-even point. These are the values for NPV. Sometimes you have some target value. You may fix a target that this much amount should be there at this target rate. Maybe you make target for this rate, you make target for this time period. That is possible if you are going to apply this term, this specific strategy, the solver, which is available in this Excel. You can just click, you can add on first of all, right? This solver can be added on just like the data analysis tool. So solver tool can be adds on to the process. So you are going to open this. Sorry. Any query?
आपकी आवाज चली गई थी, काइंडली दोबारा से बता सकते हैं क्या कर रहे थे?
Okay, I'm just going to apply the solver because sometimes you need to find out some target outcome. These are the outcomes, right? These are the outcome values which are mentioned in yellow. And sometimes you are going to make some target for these values. Actually, whenever you are going to apply this strategy or you are going to solve this whole, you are going to incorporate input values and then you will get these output values. You can only change your input value to get some output value. You cannot change your or fix your output value, then automatically input value will need to be adjusted. That is not possible here, but you can do that through this solver. So solver is actually doing what? You may identify some target value that you desire this target value. All other values need to be changed accordingly or adjust accordingly. So you can do that. So I'm just going to do that, applying the solver. Solver, you click the solver. You can add in the solver option, right, in Excel through just like the process of adds in. First of all, you will observe set object, which is your target, which just like if I'm going to make this break-even point as a target. Here, the original break-even point shows 3.88. 3 years more than 3 years or close to 4 years would be the payback period or a break-even point. Let's suppose you want to make it 2 year or 2.5 year. You want to get your money or returns or cost or investment within 2.5 years, 2.5 years. So you will pick this. First, you will pick this one here. By clicking this, you click this one, and then it is selected. And then there are 3 options: maximum, minimum, and value of. If you want to set your own value, then you have to pick this value of. Otherwise, minimum, you may get minimum value or maximum value. We need not to use minimum maximum for break-even point. We need target value. Second, which value we are going to make adjustment, where we are allowing some adjustment to happen, because actually we have to identify which input need to be changed. If we want to achieve this target, then we have to identify this through this sort parameter. I'm just going to show it again by changing variable cell. This variable cell need to be changed. So which variable cell this is? It should be, or it must be, some formula. You cannot take any value without formula. You have to take values which are related to some formula, right? Which are connected to this formula. Let's suppose how much discount rate need to be changed to get this 2.5 time period, right? So I focus on discount rate. So you are changing variable is discount rate. By changing discount rate, when you will get 2.5 break-even point, 2.5 years. So I'm just going to apply this solver. Only after selecting these values, you apply solve. And after getting the solver cannot find a point for which all constraints are satisfied. This means this is not, it is not going to solve. This is not going to be a feasible solution, not getting any feasible solution. So I'm just going to change it again. So I'm just going to, let's suppose, keep it. First of all, we need to check this is showing the formula correctly. It is partially showing the formula. So actually problem lies here as well. So I'm just going to copy the formula first from any value which is in copy, and then I'm going to use this only formula, right? I'm going to remove this and fill, and this will become yellow for your reference, right? Now I'm going to click this. All the values are going to be incorporated. Therefore, this is correct. Okay. Now we are going to apply the solver to get, and secondly, this is the discount rate. Discount rate is going to be incorporated here. And let me check first. Okay, this is the objective cell, right? 18B, 18. Okay, and the value selected this one, and then we have which cell? This one cell. Okay, now we try to get the solution. So it's not going to solve that. We have to change some cell. Let's suppose we are going to change this value. Discount rate 18%. Let's suppose tax rate. We will try to use tax rate. We apply the solver, and then we are going to apply this tax rate. And solve it. Solver point. I think there's some problem here now. Why it's not working well? It's some issue. Let's suppose we apply it for different value. So why it is creating this kind of problem? Let's suppose how much these cash flows should change for this time period. Again, we will pick the same time period, and we will pick this variable, which is this one, changing which cell, Let's suppose we are going to change this discount rate. So now our target value is this NPV, right? Last year NPV, and our discount rate is the variable. We are going to apply the solver. Okay, formula. There is no formula in which cell? Objective cell. Objective cell should have some formula. There anything? Oh, why it's not formula showing formula? We have done. Okay, I think we copied it. It's not showing the formula. I sure it must be a formula. It must be the formula. This is the problem. Actually, this is why it's not giving a result. Here formula is applied, and here formula is there, but here formula is not given. Equal to NPV. So I'm just going to quickly apply the formula. Then you have this rate first of all. That is your discount rate, and comma value 1, sorry, not this one, value 1 colon value 1, and then you will place
सर उसकी आपने डिस्काउंट रेट की वैल्यू फिक्स नहीं की सर
sorry
सर आपने सेल फिक्स नहीं किया डिस्काउंट रेट वाला
this one
सर डिस्काउंट रेट वाला आपने सेल फिक्स नहीं किया उसमें फॉर्मूला में F4 के साथ डॉलर साइंस नहीं लगाया आपने
oh sorry that is important. It need to be F4, right? Now it's fixed and nothing else, and this also need to be fixed, right? F4. Okay, enter. Now this become the formula, right? Now it will work, it will function, because previously I think that is the problem. It's not showing the formula, so now the solver will function. So set the object. First of all, what we will take, we will set this target value, and 2.5 is the target, and then we are going to take this formula, discount rate. First discount rate, and then we are going to apply the other value. So it's not working with the discount rate. I don't know what is the problem, sir, but let's suppose we are going to apply again this one, and we are going to use which variable can be changed. We can change over cash flows, or let's suppose over after tax initial investment, right? This initial investment, if how much it is going to be changed, then what we will get. Again, all constraints are not satisfied. I think there is some problem, because previously it is working for the same kind of values in other sheet. So I don't know what happens. Let's suppose we pick this. This is the target. What should be the discount rate? And we are going to find out the minimum discount rate. Or let's suppose if discount rates become 12%, 0 point, let's suppose 12, and then we are going to apply this change, how much time it will take to get break even, and then we are going to apply this one. Objective, okay, this cell we made to use reverse this cell first, because formula is mentioned here, and we make is 2.5 or any other value, and then we will try to pick. I don't know what is the problem, but anyhow, let's suppose if I'm going to pick this value, is it going to work? It's not working. I think there's some problem in this file, because it is working in other files. Let's suppose in this file we'll try to use. So let's suppose we are going to apply the solver here. So first we need to cut and paste. Copy and paste the formula here, and we need to delete this part. So this shows this. Okay, now we are going to apply this one. Sorry. I'm going to apply solver here. So first value we are going to set again this time period. We are going to make it, let's suppose, 2 years. Only 2 years should be the break-even point. And we are going to allow changes in your discount rate. How much change in discount rate can be applied? It's not working. Method is correct. So any kind of function it should perform. What is happening here? Let's suppose if benefits are going to change 20%, and what will happen? No, it's generated result. So the problem is that there are some problems with other values that cannot be achieved. So 90%, if you are going to increase your returns, then you will get 2 years as a break-even point, right? So it has done this. So actually, it's not creating a problem in that way. It has some problem with these values. It cannot retrieve, it cannot get the results. So let's suppose if I'm going to use the same method in this case and going to change this time period differently, probably we can get the result. Let's suppose I'm not going to make it 2.5, I'm going to make it 3. And then we try to solve it with reference to, let's suppose, okay, this, and then we try to solve it. No, still it's not working here. But here it's giving a solution for 2 years. Let's suppose we are going to change this variable equipment cost. How much change in equipment cost need to be done? So it has mentioned this one. So found a solution, and this means first I have to make it visible. All values should be visible. Now you will observe that the results are generated by these 2 years. But how much equipment cost need to be changed? Okay, previously it has changed this much, 20% increase in benefit. I think we have to first restore our original situation, then we will come back. 20%, enter. Okay, we were talking about 20% or 0%, right? Any change in the cash. So you can initially make it 0%. This is the original situation. Now we can apply solver for observing the situation. Now you will observe that results has changed this value of 2 years is the break-even time period, and this value has changed, mean 51,975 should be the cost of your equipment if you want to get your payback within 2 years. You have to click this button to get to original results, otherwise solver solution will stay on your sheet. Now you'll come back to the original status. How much cash flows need to be changed? You can apply this solver. So target is the cash flows, and here you can pick the maximum. You are interested in the maximum cash flow, and then what is the variable which you can focus, just like equipment cost you can pick. Let's suppose I'm going to pick the equipment cost and try to find the solution. The solution is generated. Okay, it has made 0. Equipment cost should be free, equipment should be freely available, then you can have the maximum value of your NPV. But in that case, there is no IRR and MIRR you will get. The solution is too much problematic as such, you can say, because it is not giving. Let's suppose if we are not picking this, we are picking the taxes. How much tax rate is there? How much government imposing the taxes? Is there any way through which we can maximize our returns? Tax rate, income tax rate 40% from the solution. And what was the target value? Okay. Again, we have to wait, because whatever target value we have selected, maximum here. Maximum target value. Let's suppose it is 25,000 and we go for maximum value, and we are going to pick income tax rate, discount rate. Let's suppose discount rate, if there is some solution for that. So how much change in discount rate is there? It becomes 84,000 and discount rate becomes 0. So that is the minimum possible. Automatically, whenever you are observing that these are the cost inputs, so they are maximizing your returns only if they are becoming minimum. Equipment cost is becoming minimum, or discount rate is becoming minimum. Even the tax is going to be minimized, then returns will increase. So in this way, you can apply this basically solver for any value. Let's suppose you are interested in modified internal rate of return, and you want to get the solver to your target variable is this one, and then you are interested in maximum value of this, and what kind of adjustment you are interested in modify a reinvestment rate. What should be the reinvestment rate to get the maximum value of this? Oh my God, too much high value through this reinvestment rate. So that is not a proper solution. It has changed dramatically. So just like giving you the idea that you can apply the solver to get the results, right? Secondly is that you can incorporate equipment cost. So most of the time has been used for the solver. Just coming back to this risk and capital budgeting, just like giving you the idea about that. जी please.
मैंने आपसे पूछना था कि आपने में असाइनमेंट में दिया हुआ व्हाट इफ कैश फ्लोज डिक्रीज बाय 10%, तो उसके लिए क्या फॉर्मूला लगाएंगे?
Yeah, this we are observing this one. You will enter this value here, increase projected benefit, and you can decrease it even, right? So let's suppose 10% increase, this you will mention 10%. If it is 20%, you will mention 20%. If it is rising cost 20%, then you will make it minus 20%, right? If it is rising cost by 10%, minus 10%. And where it is being used, let's suppose in your formula, already you have incorporated this value, you apply this formula, and this value is going to be multiplied by this one, and plus this, you will get this value, right? So whenever you are going to increase, it will rise, and if you are going to decrease, it will decrease. Cash flows will change. Cost will reduce the cash flow up to that percentage, and if it is the rising cost, and if it is rising benefit, then cash flow will increase up to that percentage. Clear?
But sir, in the last class we did C9 multiplied by 0.2
Okay.
plus
Fourth
C9.
option is there. If you don't want to create this cell, no issue. you can directly go here. Let's suppose if I'm just going to skip this one and I'm just going to change this in this way, no issue, because in that case we can save over new cell. You will go for this value, multiply. If cash is going to increase, then you will multiply by, let's suppose, 10%, then you will multiply by 0.10. If it is 20%, then 0.2. If it is loss, then what you will do, you will actually multiply with the 10%, right? And in this case, if it is loss, then you need to minus that from your this cell, right?
Okay,
Then it
sir.
will first since minus sign comes later, minus sign should come first. So first you will mention this value, then minus this one, then you will get the reduction in the cash flows, right? So the same you can observe without using this cell. You can directly use apply this one, and you can scroll down, scroll right, and then your result will appear.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Right? So these both options are available.
Also, one more thing, सर वो जो स्लाइड है उसमें आपने बोला था कि 3 डिफरेंट डाटा सेट्स हैं तो 3 प्रैक्टिस शीट्स कर लो, लेकिन वो 3 डिफरेंट डाटा सेट्स नहीं है, वो एक ही डाटा सेट है, उन्होंने डिफरेंट उसको चीजें इनकॉर्पोरेट करके डिफरेंट टेबल्स बनाए हुए हैं, वो डाटा सेट एक ही है.
In which slide?
In the capital budgeting slides.
Okay, there are 3 different companies now, ABB and Albertus, and then insurance, another insurance company is there. So I first say something like that name. So you need to incorporate 3 different data sets, right? Because they are 3 different companies.
But sir, I checked, there were not 3 different data sets, there was just one data set.
No, I have actually observed. Let me find it and I will show you. This was 4th lecture in which it has been mentioned. So this data set is different from that. This is okay. Albertus Enterprise, right?
Sir, have you uploaded these slides?
No, I don't remember exactly. I don't know. I should, but let's suppose I have to check it out. I think that may be skipped. I will upload today, inshallah. I will upload today. I will upload today.
Okay,
both of the lectures.
Thank you.
Okay, in this lecture, just like, because I'm just going to consume the short time period, just like giving you some idea about this and capital budgeting. Whenever you are applying this capital budgeting tools, actually what you want to do, you want to manage the risk, right? Different kind of variation in your business or investment are going to hurt your outcomes, right? So how you can manage this, actually that is showing how to manage your risk, because risk means whatever possible losses you may face. So we are going to manage that. These are the details, you can go through it by yourself, right? I'm just going to show through the diagram what is happening. Once you are going to find out your net present value, it is going to change in this way, right? You can find out your net present value ranging from 0 to the maximum level with different kind of, actually you are going to assign the probability for each possible value of your NPV. Just like last time we have observed these values of NPV. Just like I think in this example here, these are the values of NPV, right? So if you are going to assign some probability, okay, what is the probability that you will get this much profit, or the higher one, further higher one, or this lower one, or further lower one, right? What is the probability? So whenever you are going to assign the probabilities to these options, you are going to generate this kind of scenario, right? This downside risk curve you can generate. So actually it is helping you to identify through the values of probability that how much probability that you can get this much level of return, this much get level of returns. Actually it is accumulated, therefore you are observing a continuous curve moving upward, but it is not accumulated in reality. You are not going to take the summation of every value, you are going to have different values, so ultimately it is U-shaped. inverted U shape, you know, the bell shape curve, right? Normally distributed or not normally distributed, depending upon the situation. So, but the purpose is that actually shows you for every particular value how much probability lies. Let's suppose for this level of returns, $2 lakh, 50% probability lies that you will earn more than two more than $2 lakh, right? Sorry, less than $2 lakh. This because it shows the previously accumulated values, and this shows the less than 3 lakh value, right? And so on, because you cannot find out more than a unless until you have the inverted U-shaped curve. So these are showing for a given point how much cash you can get at what particular level of probability. So that is giving you the hint about it. Whenever you are going to use your data set, you are going to generate this probability value through this downside risk, right? And this is accumulated, therefore it is going to be increased. You can generate through this this accumulated probability distribution by using probability distribution option in the Excel sheet, and it gives you the option that you can have individual probability or you may have accumulated probability distribution. So you can get this whole probability distribution for every value. I think I should not go for this. I just give you the hint because let's suppose if I'm going to ask some question, I will give you the graph and you need to interpret that instead of doing these calculations, right? So this normal distribution function is going to be used. I may highlight this. You can apply this one so you can get the whole schedule for these values, just like these values which has been generated here. So what is the basic theme behind it? We want to minimize our risk, right? Because we want to ensure that whatever benefit a business or corporate sector is going to have, it should be sustainable. It should continue for a long period of time. It should not be happen that initially you are earning a lot of returns and then later you are going to have more losses, because you need a sustainable business where even in the crisis you are going to earn a reasonable amount of profit so that you can sustain within the crisis and you can pass through the process. And because you know, due to the business cycle, due to the variation in the economy, these crises are coming in the business. So business profit is going to move down, then sometimes it's very high. Fluctuations are going to happen. So this second table is also showing that in this case, you are going to compare downside risk with different values. Just like you observe the values at the top, your annual benefits remain constant, but your forecasted error has been changed 10%, 5%, 15%, and your standard error forecast it has also been it is actually converted into terms of dollar by multiplying this. Therefore, only change is the standard error forecast. Once you are going to apply different models, right, to generate values, then your standard error forecast will be different, right, for these values. So let's suppose you are going to calculate this downside risk for your ratios. Let's suppose if not for NPV, then you have 20, 10, 15 values of ratios and you are going to run the model and then you are going to find out estimated value. And then this estimated value is going to be compared to this downside risk. For every estimated values, you are going to calculate your normal distribution and then you are going to compare them. What is the situation, right? So all these three pictures are going to compare in terms of the three columns can be compared to this picture. So this is at 5%, at 10%, 15%, right? Standard error. So you will observe what happens. The slope of the curve is going to change, right? If it is becoming more flatter, it is becoming, then probability is going to be lower and returns net present value is higher. If it is becoming more steep, then value of NPV is going to be smaller, change is smaller, but probability is going to be larger, right? So 15%, this 15% situation is better than this 5% situation, because in this case, probability is definitely very high, but for very small amount of this NPV value. But in this case, the probability is going to cover the larger value of your NPV. Whenever you are going to apply this, actually you need to apply the scenario analysis tools. I'm not going to use this scenario analysis tool because it is going to take more time to study and even doing practice. So I think that it can give you different kind of situation, worst, best, and most probable situation, all three situations. So you can just briefly explain by yourself that which scenario is most suitable for you. Let's suppose if I'm going to show you some results of this scenario analysis, just to give you some idea, so that if I'm going to share the results with you, then at least you are capable to explain them. These are the scenario analysis, right? Just like it is giving you the identify which cells you are focusing on, and then best scenario, initial case, worst scenario, normal scenario. So they are the different kind of situation. This is the initial solution which is going to be compared. This is the best scenario number 1, 0, best scenario number 1. So you can assign any scenario the number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, any number, right? Then if your worst case, and then your normal case. So you can compare with initial case, what are the values of your NPV, what are the value of your IRR, what is the break-even time period, how it is going to change. So they are going to mention all these things in terms of this way, right? So scenario analysis is going to be mentioned in this way. Oh, first of all, you can copy the results, and then you can write down the names, or you can change the names of these cells by the original values, that what values they are showing, and then you can compare other results with each other, right? Or with reference to different scenarios. So this is going to create that kind of situation. So I'm not going to move for the scenario analysis, because again, the scenario analysis option is available, but we are not going to use because of the short of time. So I think that that is sufficient, whatever you have already done. And sensitivity analysis is also generating some kind of scenario without applying the scenario analysis technique. And so you, whatever scenarios you have already created, so these are the different scenarios. So different kind of situations and different kind of just like if some kind of change in taxes is there, some kind of discount rate is going to change, salvage value is going to change, or depreciation is even going to change, then all these can be captured through the scenario analysis, right? The sensitivity analysis. So you can generate your own scenarios, and then you can generate these results. Only thing is that in case of probability situation, you need to identify what is the probability that this scenario will exist, this scenario will exist. This, let's suppose if we are going to mention that the probability is 45% chances are there that this scenario will exist, right? If going to show the probability, and then only 30% chances that this situation will exist, and then 40% chances that this situation will exist, and 25% chances this situation will exist. This is independent scenarios, right? If you are going to make some interdependent scenarios, then this will become interdependent value, mean to say you have to change this value, and some of the value should be 100% or should be equal to 1, probability value is equal to 1, right? So this is the difference. Because if scenarios are going to be simultaneously exist, then definitely every scenario has some probability. But if scenarios are coming in place of each other, different time periods, they are independent to each other, then probability may be there's no need to take any summation of these probability, right?